Canterbury Cup. Played 3 games each Sunday, and it was played for £100 prize, which was considerable on those days. I had a trophy which showed we won the competition from 50 to 59 8 times. We'd only lost it once or something in that time. There were clubs like Belmore and Lakemba and Undercliff, Marrickville that were playing in the association, and they'd play up here too. But this competition brought in these other sides, these really recently arrived migrants who developed from very small background to become the Apias and the Panhellenics and the Croatians and the Yugo. All those sort of teams became top teams.
The club was formed in 1924 and representing the local community. It's always done that. To play for Hurlstone Park, you were a hurlo, that's what it's called. As you look into it, you can see that the club's time then reflects the changing demographic in Sydney widely. So it becomes of an interest point of view when you delve in deeper and you can see that broader picture.
We're all rough Anglos and hadn't seen migrant teams, so they only knew them by one name, which unfortunately was Wogs, and they just said, "Who are we playing this week?" "Oh, we're playing the Wogs." I said, "I still don't know who we're playing." When they played, it was our guys who were raw natural athletes playing people who had been taught skills like European migrants. Our skills were run as hard as you can, kick the ball as far as you can, tackle as hard as you can. And at that time, the referees allowed us to get away with it. We had one player, Ernie King, who was a tremendous slide tackler. He'd just about take the legs off anyone, that had the ball, and there was no problem. So naturally, the migrants got upset with this too. And there were words said. Big Davo says he's running down to this fullback, who I think he named, and the fullback turned and kicked the ball over his head and took off, and Dave's standing there wondering what had happened. He'd never seen that before, And it allowed assimilation between our Anglos and the newly arrived migrants, which would never occurred in such a way. I think sport's a great evener at all times, and whilst there's rivalry, there's still respect and sportsmanship and all the other things that go with mateship. And after the game, they'd come into our dressing room, we'd have a talk to them, if we could understand them, and they'd talk to us, and next week it'd be on again, But there were conflicts. Like we had a player who became a referee, and this fellow worked as a cook down the King's Cross area, but he also seconded as a security guy, a bouncer type, Andy Miller, I think his name was now. And he's refereeing one day, and one of these migrants had a go at him. He said, if you didn't have your badge on, he said, you're only using your badge, I'd sort you out. So Andy took his badge off, walked him to the sideline. He said, "You have first punch, and then I'll finish the rest," he said. So this went on in those days, And he's walking back and kept looking like he was trying his gun. "Wrong way, Johnny."